My name's Jason, I'm an addict. A part of me just feels like I'm at home, do you know what I mean? I've never been here before, do you know what I mean? But it's probably because there's a lot of faces that I see, which I've been seeing for many, many years, do you know what I mean? And it's lovely to see some new faces, and it's nice as well to see the meeting full up of people being responsible for this illness we suffer with, do you know what I mean? I've got this feeling in my belly. It hasn't left me. I've been in recovery for like 17 years, yeah, and it continues. I call it self-centered fear, don't know, malady, whatever you want to call it, right? But my experience has shown me that I commenced to outgrow this self-centered fear by allowing this program to bring me to better things. Do you know what I mean? And one of them is that at the beginning I said I'd go to any lengths is to do and sit up on the top table, innit? Do you know what I mean? And my experience has shown me I'll push through that. Do you know what I mean? And God will come into this, hopefully, and I've with a bit of humility as well. Do you know what I mean? Because where I've been around a while now, sometimes my head tells me this little voice, I don't know if you guys suffer with it, but he says, like, you got to do a killer share, you're 17 years clean, and all this crap. Yeah? I want you all to have a spiritual awakening and result of listening to Jason. It ain't going to happen. It ain't. Honestly, if anyone can get things wrong, it's me. And it's Jason, yeah? That's my experience all my life, you know. I was born in Chelsea. All my big family were Chelsea fans, yeah. Big family, big parties, a lot of alcohol. And Dad left Mum from little baby, and me and Mum moved to Notting Hill, Ladbroke Grove, Notting Hill Carnival, a very well-known place. Do you know what I mean? I grew up as a barrow boy down on the old Portobello Road. And the big book. It says, like, some of us, you lot over there were just normal, do you know what I mean? You lot over there were just normal. You knew what you wanted in life. You was going to get a job. You could go to school. You could concentrate. You weren't violent. Yeah, you weren't full of fear, maybe. And then there's another lot of us, maybe over here, were totally the opposite. Do you know what I mean? I was one of them ones who was just absolutely, brain was broken somewhere along the line before I went near a drink and drug. That's my experience, do you know what I mean? I remember, like, growing up near Wormwood Scrubs prison and playing over there as a child and looking up at the prison, and they'd be swinging lines because there was no cages then, and they'd swing from line to line. I'd look over, and I'm probably 10, and a little bit of me seems to know I'm going in there. I'm 10. That's not normal. I'm getting in trouble with police. Do you know what I mean? My mum's playing Gloria Gaynor Will Survive. She's one of us. She was. Yeah, my mum was an alcoholic. She went to AA, and she dipped her toes in and out. She didn't go through the 12 steps as far as I know, and she just dipped her toes in and out, and this illness killed her early. My mum used to play Gloria Gaynor. Know that song, leave your keys at the door, you're not welcome anymore. And she'd start, yeah, you know it, and she'd start on whoever she's in a relationship, she's getting violent, you know what I mean? Yeah, and he'd run out the house. And she'd play it, and she'd play it for about 2-3 hours. Over and over and over again, and the truth is I'll just be in bed because I know she's coming to me next. Do you know what I mean? Don't make me an addict, but she'd be coming to me to direct that anger. Do you know what I mean? And in the morning, she's this sweet mum again. Wow. Do you know what I mean? I had the best warnings. The book talks about we've got warnings, mate. I had the best warning not to know they're drinking drugs. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, basically I was that kid always up on the wall at school, yeah, right, and then, like, people talk about feeling different and all that. It's like we have a laugh here. My mum used to send me out on a big estate, yeah, with my ears taped back. Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? Like, talk about feeling different. You know what I mean? Because my ears would stick right out as a kid. You know what I mean? But anyway, let's get serious now. So, I went to very, very young age. Crime was kind of mind-altering in a way, if that's possible. Yeah, that's the truth, yeah. I don't know how many of you guys feel like this, but I was always in trouble, and I was always chasing money, and I was going in and out young offenders from quite a young age, yeah. From the age of 14, I was always in one of them centres. I never went to the normal school. They just rounded up all the naughty kids and put us in there. Do you know what I mean? That was me. And then I remember I met someone, mother of my 2 children. We fell in love. We're 17. I can't wait to move out of my house from where my mum is. Do you know what I mean? And we got our own place and that. And then very quickly we had 2 children. And at that time I was sniffing cocaine. I was trying to sell cocaine. And I'd go to raves and stuff. Back 91 innit and all that. Do you know what I mean? Back to the Future and all them big raves there, and it was very strange there. Like I'd take E's and I wouldn't dance. I'd take 6 E's and I wouldn't dance. Everyone was having fun. And I was just so tensed up, do you know what I mean? A control freak called it, right? And then the crack come along one night, man. It was like, I've got 2 children. I'm very dishonest, thinking I'm a good dad. But I'm just waiting to get arrested and go to prison, do a long prison sentence. But at the same time, I'm thinking I'm a good dad, do you know what I mean? Yeah? Because financially, we had nice stuff. And then one night, I couldn't get no more sniff. And someone said, because it was 2 a.m, yeah? And someone said, I can get some crack. And I said, all right. Yeah? That's not normal, by the way. Say, yeah, all right to crack cocaine, is it? It's not. You go and ask someone now, go to a pub now and say to someone, do you fancy smoking some crack with me tonight? Yeah? So there's something wrong, isn't there? Your brain's broke somewhere, right? And then I went to smoke that crack, and I absolutely loved the effect of crack cocaine. All that fear of being arrested, maybe, you know what I mean? Looking at big prison sentences and all that stuff, and I just smoked and smoked and smoked. And then my missus said to me, don't go down them crack houses no more, because there's girls down there. She said, bring it here and I'll smoke it with you. And I said, that suits me fine. And I took my missus with me with this illness. Do you know what I mean? So now I've got a smoking partner in my kids' house, and we're throwing bags of crisps now and then in the room where my kids are for hours and hours on end. Do you know what I mean? You're not feeding the kids properly. And then it went on and on, our addiction. And for 3 years she smacked crack cocaine with me, I think every day. And she said, because of social services and family and stuff knew what was going on, she said, like, you have to go. I'm going to stop. And I said, okay. And guess what? She stopped. Get on that. 3 years of smoking, abusing crack cocaine on a daily basis. And she had the power to stop using. I didn't. That's what separates me from her. The book describes it. Yeah? On her own power. She did it, man. Maybe she prayed, who knows, and maybe God stepped in and helped her, but she did not smoke crack no more. I continued. The money ran out, so I had accumulated a lot of money, so that's why I was smoking crack so hard for so many years, and then I started using heroin, and what a relief, you know what I mean? Because my problems are built up on me. You can imagine the amount of problems that built up in you when you smoke crack every day, innit? And I got that heroin in me, and what a relief it was. I was like, I remember a convertible driving past with the Beatles music on that first time I used the heroin. And it was like, that was the first time I intravenously used, actually. And I remember it hit me, man. And I skipped down that road, you know what I mean? And all my problems seemed to disappear. Little did I know, they never. Yeah, but that's where it fools my mind. Continued to use drugs for many, many years and abused drugs. And then went over to South London, Brixton, of all places, where my dad lives now, yeah, because he lives over the other side of London, thinking that'd help. In Brixton, there's a lot of drugs in Brixton. So I took my problem over there, and it was just pitiful. Like, when I made amends to my dad said to me, it weren't about you taking stuff out of the house, it was about me every morning waking up, opening your door, looking in to see if this was the day you was dead or not. Because I had a drawer full of syringes. I had cans full of special brew with urine in. Do you know what I mean? It's not nice. I ain't washed the sheets for weeks or months. You know what I mean? I'm lucky to have a house, because I could be homeless, innit? But this is what I put my dad through. And any of you got kids, imagine doing that. Some of you got kids, innit? Imagine every morning having to open the door to see if this is the morning where they're dead. Do you know what I mean? I thought it was about, it's always my experience though with amends, and a lot of the time I go there thinking I'd done ABC, and they turn around, and when I say, is there anything I missed? I missed it all right. They tell me the truth. Do you know what I mean? And that's when the healing starts to take place. Anyway, how long have I been talking for? Sorry. Right, let's fast forward now, yeah? Solution now, hopefully. Right? Many years abusing, drinking drugs, done everything I could to stop. And then I went to some Canadian drug worker in South London, yeah? And she had me in tears. She started talking about my kids and my life and all that, yeah? And she knew her stuff, yeah? And she said, we're going to take a chance on you. We're going to send you to a rehab, man. I've never been to one. I'm 36 years of age, and I end up in a blind detox in South London. From blind detox, I go to Southampton to a certain treatment centre. I walked in, and my brain still broke because I'm saying stupid things like, just got there, I'm only there an hour, and I'm saying to them, if I don't like my counsellor, can I change them? And they're going, you just got here. What's wrong with? I remember then, the brain's not right. Yeah, it's not thinking right. Yeah, that's not the most important thing. Yeah. Anyway, I got there and I'm looking at the 12 steps and looking back on that experience in that treatment centre. We all, I think there were 16 of us in there or something. We got each other through that, man. We did. We held each other high. We held each other tight through certain things, you know what I mean? And then on a Tuesday night, I went across the road and there was another meeting of Cocaine Anonymous. And I walked in there and there was 2 people. Yeah? There was only 2 people in Cocaine Anonymous at that time that I knew of that had gone through the 12 steps who were in that meeting all the time. That's all. Look at the experience around us now. Makes me go all funny, do you know what I mean? Just looking at you lot. The experience we got now. No, seriously, look at the experience we've got combined. We can solve anything together. Yeah? Unity. And Eddie and Jane, I'm allowed to say that, yeah? Eddie and Jane were there and they were shouting the message, and then a hippie van used to come down there from Bournemouth, and they used to pile in this like Volkswagen hippie van, I called it, you know what I mean? And some of you would come down and carry the message to us, do you know what I mean? And that's when I identified with this secrets I've been carrying around all my life, that spiritual malady. Irritable and discontent, feeling of uselessness, can't help other people, all that stuff there, that crippling feeling, you know what I mean? I just, it almost started to make sense just a little bit around myself. I then come down to Bournemouth and got myself a sponsor. So I come from Southampton to Bournemouth and I got myself a sponsor, and he met up with me and he said to me, are you willing to go to any lengths to victory over drinking drugs and alcohol, any lengths? And I said yes. I didn't really fully know what that meant. Yeah? And it was summer, like it is now, and I thought I was on holiday. I thought I cracked it. I've been separated from drinking drugs for 7 months. Everything's fine now. I've never been clean for 7 months. Yeah? We go through the work like very, very, very slow. It took 13 months to go through the work. I must be in the record books, honestly, that's a long time, isn't it? And I got to step 2, and then I found out the hard way about this illness and how sneaky and cunning and baffling and how powerful this illness is, yeah? And I'm 7-8 months clean and sober. I'm in London, and I've just said goodbye to my kids, and suddenly it's waited till I'm in my area, and suddenly this mental blank spot come to me. It was so powerful, honestly. Well, looking back on it now, it was like, it took me. It was merciless honestly on my mind what it did. And within 10 minutes I'd scored and I got a needle in my arm. And I'm pushing and I'm using, and a little tear, my eyes are tearful because I don't want to do what I'm doing. I don't even want to do it no more, do you know what I mean? But I'm doing it anyway. And then about an hour later, my mad head said to me, you're going to get a habit, you better use the rest of that stuff. Yeah. And I put the rest in me. And then next thing I know, I'm in an ambulance and they're doing stuff to me to bring me back. And I wake up with them over me and they said, you've been in rehab for 7-8 months. You've been in rehab for 7-8 months. You haven't used no drugs for 7-8 months. And you just injected yourself with heroin. Are you mad? And I said, yes, I think I am. Yeah? Thank God that person who found me wasn't, it wasn't a crack house, because they put me in the bin where I come from. Took my money. Come back to Bournemouth, my sponsors opened the big book up and he said, look at that there, told ya, there'll come a time and place where you'll have no mental defence against that first one. That's what I experienced. I never experienced it before. When he said to me, are you willing to go to any lengths of victory over alcohol? I meant it. Because when I used, my experience is never to use once or twice, ever in my life. And that time when I used, I hit my knees for hours and hours and hours, and I cried my heart, and I cried and I cried. And the next morning I cried and I prayed and I prayed, and I've done a deal with this power that still don't know much about now. And I've done a deal, I swear to God, I've done a deal. And I said, I'll do whatever you want me to do, please get me out of this. And ever since I've been looked after. I come back to Bournemouth, my sponsor took me through the work. We went through all 12 steps, fearless and thorough. Yeah. And the only way of explaining it is my glasses were like, all my life they were the wrong way round. And suddenly I go and make loads of amends and do my inventory, yeah, and I can see, and I'm saying it's all me, it's me, you know what I mean? I just didn't, I felt free, felt that freedom, And when I say freedom, the book talks about we can go to anywhere. I can go to the most sordid place on earth. We can. If we've got a good reason to go there, innit? Yeah? We can go and 12-step people, we can help people, we can go to areas where there's drugs. I see people when I go back to Ladbroke Grove now, there's not many of them alive, trust me, my age. I'm 53 now, and some of the older lot, they're all gone. They're dead. And I'd see them sometimes and I try to talk to them about recovery, my life and how I've been changed and saved. And the sad thing is, they say to me, it's all right. This is what they say normally, it's all right. And I say, what do you mean it's all right? And they say, it's all right, this is my life. This is the only life they know. They've accepted that they're going to die with a drink or a drug in them, like using out there in the madness. Do you know what I mean? It's absolutely mad. I've continued, because the book talks about continue, doesn't it? I continue the best I can. For me to next month, God willing, I'll be 18 months clean and sober, yeah? Right? If I continue to do what I'm doing. And if anyone could get it wrong, for you new guys, I'm letting you know. Ask people who know me. Jason will get it wrong. He'll make a mistake, you know what I mean? He'll fuck it up. I looked at them 12 steps there. And I thought they'd work for you guys. I didn't say, yeah, I fancy a bit of that. Do you know what I mean? But I had no choice. I had absolutely no choice, you know. I was at that jumping off place. Do you know what I mean? And then one day someone come up to me, I was about a year clean, just over a year clean, and he said to me, will you sponsor me? And I nervously said yes. And I'd done the exact same thing my sponsor done with me. And I took him through the work. He's still clean and sober, and that do me. Do you know what I mean? But it works. And then I start getting involved in subcommittees for you new people. There's a job for you, trust me. There's a job in your home group, there's a job in subcommittees. Do you know what I mean? I was so grateful. I think it's the gratitude that got me to where I am now. Without gratitude, I'm not going to take action. It's as simple as that. Do you know what I mean? If you don't keep the gratitude, how are you going to take action? You're not going to do it, are you? Because I remember coming back from that relapse, I walked in that door of a meeting, feeling dirty, and I just couldn't talk to anyone. And geezer Richie come up to me, he ain't about now. Do you know what I mean? He come up to me and he give me that broom. Thank God he gave me that broom. And he said, sweep the floor with me after the meeting and mop it. Do you know what I mean? And for me that was a pleasure. And it kept me going back the next week, and it kind of connected me to the group. And that sounds mad, isn't it? The broom connected me to the group. But it did. Because next week I had a job to go back to. Do you know what I mean? You need to find a job here. Do you know what I mean? I've heard people say, carry the wood to the fire to keep the fire going, for the newcomer to walk through the door, to keep it going. Do you know what I mean? And I've been speaking for quite a bit now. Like I said, this program, I've got an 11-year-old son, and I truly believe he could work this program if he needed to. Do you know what I mean? My experience is that God is closest to those with broken hearts. If you want and need him, yeah, he can enter you. Do you know what I mean? The sunlight, the spirit, it talks about in that big book, can enter anyone if you're desperate enough and you want him. I'm still actively sponsored. Still sponsor people, which then I get to look at myself again, all over again. I continue to need God's help because I'm still selfish and self-centered. The book screams at us. We need God's help because we're selfish. I'm one of them people who's just naturally selfish, honestly. And I need to continuously do this stuff. My life is very, very busy, full. Do you know what I mean? I've got 3 children. I'm a granddad now. Going on holiday next week to Cyprus. I got married in recovery a couple of years ago. And my life is good, do you know what I mean? It's good, and this is a simple program where any of you guys, by taking daily action, tiny little, if you're new, it's about doing, for me, it's about doing tiny little things, yeah? And them tiny little things at the end of the day add up. Do you know what I mean? So to me, daily action moves me in the direction of God, that I don't have to fully understand, and I get another daily reprieve. Do you know what I mean? I get looked after. Like I said, I've been looked after a long time, man. Do you know what I mean? I hope I kept it simple, and thank you for listening. Cheers.